Two dogs. One conversation that never seems to end. If you have spent any time in dog communities online, you already know what happens when someone puts these two breeds in the same sentence. The opinions arrive fast, and they arrive strong, and they arrive from people who are absolutely certain they are right, often without having spent meaningful time with both breeds, often without having looked at the actual research, and almost always without acknowledging the thing that makes this comparison genuinely complicated, which is this: you cannot compare these two dogs fairly without first deciding what you are comparing them on. And the moment you decide that, you have already revealed something about what you value in a dog, which means this comparison is not just about the breeds. It is about the people doing the comparing. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, I am going to tell you something about this comparison that almost nobody says out loud, something that the German Shepherd community and the Pit Bull community both tend to avoid because it complicates the narrative each side prefers, and it is the most important thing about both of these dogs. Before we get into the comparison itself, I want to establish something that matters for everything that follows. The term pit bull is not a breed. It is a category, and depending on who is using it, it can refer to the American Pit Bull Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, or in some cases any dog that looks broadly like it might belong to one of those groups. This matters because a significant amount of the data used in discussions about pit bulls, including incident reports, bite statistics, and behavioral studies, is compromised by misidentification. Multiple studies have documented that visual breed identification of dogs is unreliable, even among trained professionals, with accuracy rates sometimes below 50%. When it comes to identifying pit bull-type dogs specifically. When someone cites a statistic about pit bulls, the statistic is only as reliable as the breed identification behind it. And that identification is frequently unreliable. This does not mean the data is meaningless. It means it needs to be read carefully and honestly rather than selectively. The German Shepherd has no such identification problem. German Shepherds are visually distinctive, consistently recognized, and breed verified in a way that pit bull-type dogs are not. This gives the data on German Shepherds a reliability that is not always present in the equivalent pit bull data, and that asymmetry is something that honest discussions of this comparison almost never acknowledge. Now let us talk about what these two dogs actually are. The German Shepherd was created in 1899 with a specific and documented intention. Captain Max von Stephanitz wanted a thinking dog, a dog that could work in close partnership with a human being, that could assess situations independently, follow complex instructions, and maintain behavioral stability under pressure. The entire breeding program was organized around cognitive capability and working temperament. Every dog that could not demonstrate working ability was removed from the breeding pool. The German Shepherd is the product of a century of selection for intelligence, trainability, and close human partnership. The American Pit Bull Terrier has a different origin. This breed descends from bull and terrier, crosses developed in 19th century England and Ireland for bull baiting and later for dog fighting. The traits selected for in that history were specific: high pain tolerance, strong drive, persistence, the willingness to continue engaging under conditions that would cause most dogs to disengage, and critically, a trait that is less often discussed in these conversations, a specific inhibition against human-directed aggression that was deliberately bred into the dogs because handlers needed to be able to physically separate fighting dogs without being bitten. A dog that bit its handler during a fight was culled. A dog that distinguished between aggression toward other dogs and aggression toward humans was kept and bred. This is where the pit bull history becomes genuinely complex in a way that the simple, dangerous dog narrative does not capture. The breed's fighting history produced a dog that was specifically selected against human aggression, because human aggression was not useful in the working context and was actively dangerous to handlers. So how do these histories translate into actual behavioral characteristics? On intelligence, the German Shepherd operates at a level that is difficult for most other breeds to match. Stanley Coren's intelligence rankings place the German Shepherd third among all breeds for working and obedience intelligence. The pit bull type dogs are not in the top tier of that ranking, though they are not unintelligent. What distinguishes the German Shepherd is not just the capacity to learn, but the type of learning. German Shepherds engage with problems conceptually. They transfer learning across contexts. They make decisions independently within the framework of their training. They are, in working contexts, genuinely thinking rather than just responding. Pit bull-type dogs are driven, focused, and capable of significant training achievement. What they bring to a training relationship is not the same kind of cognitive flexibility as the German Shepherd, but an intensity of engagement and a physical and emotional resilience that working dog trainers who have worked with both breeds describe with genuine respect. They are not the same kind of smart. They are a different kind of capable. On physical capability, the comparison shifts. The German Shepherd is athletic, fast, and built for sustained endurance work. The bite force of a German Shepherd is approximately 238 pounds per square inch. The American Pit Bull Terrier has a comparable bite force, with measurements varying between 200 and 250 pounds per square inch, depending on the individual and the measurement methodology. Neither breed has the strongest bite force among domestic dogs. The Kangal, the Tibetan Mastiff, and the Rottweiler all produce higher verified bite force measurements. What the pit bull brings to this comparison is not bite force exactly, but the combination of jaw structure, neck musculature, and the specific grip persistence that was selected for in its working history. The bite of a pit bull is not necessarily harder. The hold is typically more sustained. On temperament, the comparison becomes genuinely complicated, and this is where the conversation almost always goes wrong in both directions. The German Shepherd has strong protective instincts that can express as reactivity or aggression when not properly managed through socialization and training. The breed appears in bite incident reports at rates that reflect both its prevalence as a working and companion dog, and the fact that its protective drive, when not properly channeled, produces behavioral problems. If you look at raw bite statistics without controlling for population size, the German Shepherd appears in more bite incidents than many breeds people consider more dangerous. This is almost never cited by the German Shepherd community in these comparisons. The Pit Bull type dog appears in bite incident statistics at rates that have been used to support breed-specific legislation in multiple jurisdictions. Some of these statistics are reliable. Some are compromised by the misidentification problem I mentioned earlier. The honest position is that the data is genuinely mixed and context-dependent in ways that do not support simple conclusions in either direction. What the research does support clearly is this. Temperament in both of these breeds is significantly shaped by individual history, socialization, training, and the quality of the human relationship the dog has experienced. This is true of every breed, but it is particularly true of breeds with strong drives and strong capabilities. The capacity that makes a German Shepherd an extraordinary working dog is the same capacity that makes a poorly socialized German Shepherd a serious behavioral problem. The intensity that makes a pit bull-type dog an exceptional training partner is the same intensity that, directed by an owner who selected the dog specifically for aggression, produces something genuinely dangerous. Both breeds are capable of extraordinary things in the right context. Both breeds are capable of serious problems in the wrong one. The difference is not the breed. The difference is almost always the human on the other end of the leash. And this is the thing I promised to tell you, that almost nobody says out loud in this comparison. The German Shepherd versus Pit Bull debate is not really about the dogs. It is about what humans do with powerful animals. It is about the responsibility that comes with owning a dog that has genuine capability, whether that capability is the intelligence and working drive of the German Shepherd, or the intensity and physical persistence of the Pit Bull. Both of these dogs require something specific from their owners: consistent leadership, appropriate socialization, training that respects the dog's nature rather than trying to suppress it, regular physical and mental engagement, and a genuine understanding of what the dog was bred for and what that breeding means for how they need to live. Owners who provide those things with either breed tend to have remarkable dogs. Owners who do not tend to have problems. And the breed gets blamed for the human's failure every single time. Which brings me to the only conclusion this comparison honestly supports. Neither breed is inherently dangerous. Neither breed is inherently safe. Both breeds are the product of specific histories that produced specific capabilities. Both require owners who respect those capabilities enough to manage them properly, and both are capable, in the right hands and the right circumstances, of being something genuinely extraordinary. The question is never which breed is better. The question is always whether the owner is good enough for the breed they have chosen. Tell me in the comments which breed you have experience with and what your honest assessment is. Not what you read. What you actually experienced with your own dog, or with dogs you have spent real time with. Subscribe if this is the kind of honest conversation you want more of. See you next time.